So we can start our lesson today. So for me, it's a pleasure to be here with you, and I want you to make a small review about some topics that we saw before. Because for the next lesson, we are going to have our test. So let me share my screen. So this is the review, and this is our session number 13. So the topics that I choose was the verb followed by ing, simple past, something about fluency, adverbs, and also we can see here a difference between American and British culture and the topic used to. So these are our topics that we are going to see today as a review and also for our next session. So first, I want you to check this video about um, spelling rules when we use ing. Okay?
Welcome to ESL Workout. Let's talk about the spelling rules when ing is added. Spelling rules when ing is added. Look at the following verbs. Go, eat, look, sit, plan, give, write. Can you divide them in 3 groups? Yes. Group 1, go, eat, look. Group 2, sit, plan. Group 3, give, write. Group 1 is easy. Just add ing with no changes. Group 1. Group 2, let's call it a 1-1 rule group. Words in 1-1 rule group have only one vowel and one consonant at the end. For example, sit, shop, plan. When ing is added, double the final consonant. Sit, sitting, double the T. Shop, shopping, double the P. Plan, planning, double the N. Group 3. All verbs in this group end with an E. For example, give, write, drive, smile. Drop the E when you add ing. For example, your turn. Are you ready? Take a pen and a piece of paper. Add ing to the words below. And pause the next screen. This is what you should get.
So this is the first video. Some spelling rules that we need to check with when we are going to use or add ing. Here I have another video, and this one is really interesting.
So let's look at the rules when we want to add ing, okay? So there's 5 rules for this one. For adding ing. First rule is a simple one, right? Just add what? What do you think? Just add ing to most words, right? For example, talk becomes talking, join becomes joining, clean becomes cleaning, right? Most words you just add ing, but some words end with the letter E. So what do we do when they end with the letter E? What do? We have to drop the E and add what? Add ing. So what are the words you have? Hide. Look at ends with an E. How do I spell he's hiding? Drop the E, add ing. Okay. Give. She's giving me her paper. Drop the E. When the word ends with an E, drop it. Drop the E before you add ing. Okay. Next one, rule number 3. Okay, now this one gets a little complicated. Okay. Do you guys all know what a syllable is? A syllable? Syllable? What's that? It's like a beat. It's a beat, right? So when we're talking, or we hear these beats, right? So even the word syllable is 3 beats. How do we know that? Syllable, right? You can, if you're not sure, you can put your finger here. Every time your chin goes down, that's a syllable. Syllable, right? Okay. So a syllable is a beat, we say. So if you have a word, if you have a 1 syllable word, okay? You have a 1 syllable word, all right? And it ends with C, E, C. What does that mean? Consonant, vowel, consonant. Remember what a vowel is? A, E, I, O, U, right? What's a consonant? Everything but a vowel, right? So, if you have a 1 syllable word and it ends with CVC, then double the last C, the last consonant, and add ing. Okay, so for example, look at this word, run. How many syllables is that? 1. Run. 1 syllable. Okay, what's that? Consonant or vowel? Okay, so consonant, what's that? What's that? Consonant. So we have 1 syllable word, and we have BBC. So now if I want to say running, do I do this? Yes, we have to double the last consonant. So run. Good. Okay? Yes? Yes? What about open? Open is rule number 4. And that's a good, remind me of that word. Okay? But let's look at this one. Swim. Okay? How many syllables is this word? Swim. Swim. 1. Okay? What does it end with? Look at the last 3 letters. Is it CBC? Yes. Consonant, vowel, consonant. Okay? So swimming is double the N, right? Okay? Cut. How many syllables is cut? 1. Is it CVC? Yes. So cutting. Good. Okay? Let's go to rule number 4 that you're ready for. Okay? Similar rule. Very similar. Okay? I'll write it out. If
if a word ends with C, B, C, right? And is more than 2 syllables, or is 2 syllables. So if it is 2 syllables or is more than 2 syllables, then you need to, what did I say? Yeah, double the last consonant, and then what? And then what?
And then plus ing.
Yeah, and then add ing. So, perfect example, let's look at the word open. Okay, how many syllables is open? 2. Okay, now look at the end of it. Okay, does it end with CBC? C, B, C. Okay, so maybe you think, okay, so then it's open ing, right? Maybe you think that, but no, it's 2 syllables. So when you have 2 syllables, you have to pay attention. Which syllable is stronger? The first one or the second one?
First one.
Okay, here, listen. Open.
First one.
Open. Yeah. So this one is stressed, right? This one is stressed. So here's the rule. If a word ends with CVC and is more than 2 syllables, but here, and what? What do I want to say? And
First one.
so if a word ends with CVC, right, and is more than 2 syllables and has stress on the last syllable, double the consonant, okay? This one is the stress on the first or second? It's on the first. So you don't need to double the last consonant. But what about this word? How many syllables? Where are they? Per, right? So like this, okay? So does the last syllable, does it end with CVC? CVC, good. Okay, all right. So wait, well, now we have to know, is this one stressed or is this one stressed?
The second.
It is the second. Prefer, right? It's this one. This one's stressed. So if I want to say, yeah, well, you wouldn't really use ing here actually because it's a non-action verb, okay? But if you did, you say preferring. How do you spell preferring? Just add another R. You have to double the consonant. Yes? That's confusing. I know, it's so confusing. Yes, it's very confusing. Let's try another one then. Okay, upset. How many syllables are here? Upset, right? 2. Okay, do we have a CVC at the end?
Yes.
Consonant, vowel, consonant. Which syllable stressed? Upset. Upset. The second one. So if the second one is stressed, how do I say he's upsetting me? How do I spell that? Yep, just like that. Okay, got it? Okay, try this one. Yeah, try this one. How many syllables? Control, right? Okay. Do we have CBC? CBC, good. Which one's stress? First or second? Control. Control. The second one. So how do I spell controlling? Double. Yeah. Technically, it's a double L. Okay. Some people spell it with a single L. I think they do that in England. I'm not sure. Okay. All right. With one L. Yeah. How? What do you mean?
Oh, because they pronounce, I think because the stress is on the first syllable. That's why. They would, I don't know, they would say control. We say control. Yeah. They say control, we say control. Maybe, that's why. I'm not sure that. But I noticed that the spelling changes, but we always add two L's. Yeah. All right, and the last rule is if the verb ends with a Y, just add ing. So rule number 5, I'll write it over here. So rule number 5, if the word ends with what? With a Y, just add ing. So for example, play, doesn't matter that there's a vowel there, it's playing, okay? Stay becomes staying, okay? How about this word? Huh? How about to buy? Buy. Yeah, buying. These are all words that have, all of these words have a vowel before the Y, right? Vowel before the Y, vowel before the Y. But what if you have a word that has a consonant before the Y? Then what? Like this word, carry, okay? We have a consonant right there. What do I do if I want to say carrying? According to this rule, what do I do? Just add ing, and that's right. You don't have to change the Y to anything because we're adding ing, okay? But when you're adding S, if there's a consonant before the Y, you have to change it to an I. But when you're adding ing, you don't do anything, okay? Right? Right.
Lie.
What?
Lie.
Like lie? Oh, lie. Yeah, and then I didn't add that one there. I need to add number 6, huh? So then if you have, yeah, like if you have a word, here, I'll add rule number 6. These are all in the back of your book, too.
The word.
So if you have a word that ends with an IE, right? Okay. Like lie, lie. Yeah, so how do you say he's lying? How do you spell that?
We changed that to the Y.
Yes. So, yeah.
S one
It has to do with the syllables, I think. Yeah. So when you have a word, if a word ends with IE, what do you do? Change it to Y, and then what? And add ing, like we did here. Okay? Okay, any questions? The rules are almost exactly the same when you want to add ed, but let's try these words first. Now, let's do it together. Let's change the spelling and add ing for these words. How do I spell wishing? Yeah, just add ing. There's no special rule there. Cleaning?
ing.
Planning?
ing.
Okay, because we have C, B, C. How many syllables? Plan. 1. So yeah, double and then add ing. Hope.
Hoping.
Take away the E.
And add ing.
Add ing. Hop.
Add ing.
Well, wait a minute. This is one syllable.
Oh, double
Consonant, vowel, consonant. So, yeah, double P, ing. You see there's a big difference. Hoping and hopping, right? So make sure you know which one you're writing, okay? Play, just add ing because when you have a y, you don't need to change anything. Okay, this is kind of a weird word that we wouldn't use as a verb. So having, yeah. I don't even want to write. I don't even think that I would use it. Okay, trying. Just add ing because the what, right? Dying. Yeah, when it ends in ie, change it to y. Running. Okay, now look at this one. Cancel. We have two syllables. We have C, right? But wait. Which syllable is stressed? Cancel. This one. So do I need to double it? No, I just add ing. Okay? And this one, refer. We have two syllables. Referring.
So I like this video because she explains very well the difference and the changes if we need to change for ing. And I think it's necessary to understand all these kind of grammar rules because actually is important. Carlos, what do you think about this video? Do you have any questions?
Okay, teacher. Not really, teacher. I understand very well the all rules. I learned only one thing. It's when the stress is in the first syllable. For example, excuse me, in the last syllables. For example, prefer is preferring because the stress is in the last syllables. Yes.
Yes.
Open and effort is a very a good example about the exception when we have a monosyllabic verb. Yes,
Yes.
because the stress is in the first syllable. We don't need to double the last consonant. Only add ing.
Exactly. All these grammatical rules are necessary when we are writing something with ing. Also, when we are going to pronounce, it's important. Like she mentioned, in the British culture, they have a different kind of accent. That is why the grammatical rule changes. Okay, Laura, did you check the video?
No.
You don't have the chance, but I think you understand this topic very well because you did a good job the last time when we saw the ing. So now I have some examples here, and I want you to pick up one, imagine, and make some phrases using the ing. For example, the kid is riding a bike. We did this exercise before. So, Carlos, you can start.
Okay, I choose the second image.
This one?
My exam, then the second.
This one?
The one.
I don't know. You can say one.
I choose the second image.
Okay.
The guys are jumping to get at the ball.
Okay. Okay. Laura, what about you?
The first.
Yes.
The girl, the woman is in love. No, is loving
Yes.
of his boyfriend.
Exactly. Pick up one more, Carlos.
The teacher is teaching English language.
Yes. Another one, Laura.
Um, mm, dos, 7.
Yes.
The kids are singing a song.
Yes. Another one, Carlos.
Um, the kites are um, falling up the stairs.
Yes. Another one, Laura.
Mm, okay. The kids are reading a book.
Yes. And the next one, Carlos.
The guys are finishing the race.
Very good. Laura.
Hmm. The the kids are running in a theater in a I don't know.
In a forest.
Oui. Sí, 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 sí.
Okay, very good. Carlos, the last one.
Uh, the daddy's brother is following her father.
Okay, very good. So remember, all these kind of examples, when we are using ing, is to explain something that happened in this moment, and we always use ing with the verb. Okay, so we need to pay attention to the grammatical rules when we are writing, especially when we are writing something. So the next topic is simple past. I have here the same thing, some grammar, and I want you to pay attention to this video, okay?
Welcome to English Grammar Spot. This lesson is about the past simple. I'm going to show you how to form a past simple and when to use a past simple. But before we get started, it's good to know that in the English language we have regular verbs and irregular verbs, and it is advisable that you study the most commonly used irregular verbs. Now let's get started. Take a look at these sentences. I walked to school yesterday and he paid for dinner last week. Both these sentences are in the past simple tense. How to form a past simple? For the regular verbs, we simply use the infinitive form of the verb and we add ed. I kicked the ball. You closed the door. He wiped the table. She cooked dinner. And it rained yesterday for the singular forms. And for the plural forms, we walked to school. You watched the tennis match. They marked the tests. Attention to verbs that end in an e, such as live, close, and wipe. With these verbs, we use the infinitive form of the verb, but we only add a d. For example, I lived here in 2012. He closed the window. They wiped the floor. We also need to pay extra attention to verbs that end in y, especially those preceded by a consonant, such as spy, envy, and study, the consonants being a p, a v, and a d. Here, the y changes into an I. For example, he spied on his neighbors. He envied her cousin. They studied a lot. Now let's have a look at the irregular verbs. All irregular verbs have a unique past simple form. I built that shed last year. The infinitive form is to build. She taught English in the 1990s. The infinitive form is to teach. We ran the marathon in 2012. The infinitive form is to run. Let's have a look at the past simple in questions. For all verbs, regular and irregular, we use the auxiliary verb to do, but we need the past simple tense, which is did, and the infinitive form of the verb. Did she talk to him this morning? Did you ride your bicycles yesterday? Did they work on the farm last year? The past simple in negations, regular and irregular. We also use the past simple tense of the auxiliary verb to do, which is did, and we add not to it, contracting it into didn't, plus the infinitive form of the verb. I didn't want to come over last night. We didn't walk to school this morning, and they didn't listen to the radio yesterday. Now let's have a look at the past simple in use. We use the past simple for things that happened at a specific time in the past, so we need to know when it happened. For example, yesterday, this morning, or in 2009. We left for New York yesterday. We ate our breakfast this morning. They got married in 2009. We also use the past simple in questions after when. When did you buy that t-shirt? When did she graduate from high school? I thank you for your attention. For regular updates, please subscribe.
So this is a video about the simple past. So remember that the simple past is for something that happened in the past. Okay? So this is our finished actions. Also is concerned with when happened the action. For example, like in the video mentioned, yesterday, in 2009, 3 days ago. So depends what do you want to express. But remember, the simple past always, or the past simple, always are finished, are actions that finished in the past. Okay. So now I have here a video. You to pay attention to this video, and after we are going to talk about the things that happened in the past.
I'm so happy to be home.
I bet. So, tell us what happened.
Well, on Thursday afternoon, I saw the weather forecast on the TV in the hotel, and it said there was a big storm coming.
Yes, that was when we spoke.
That's right. So, I took a taxi to the airport straight away. I wanted to leave before the storm came. Good idea. Did you get to the airport okay? Yes, I got there, but hundreds of other people had the same idea. The storm arrived faster than anybody expected, so there were no flights. The road to the airport was completely flooded, so nobody could go back into town. We got stuck in the airport.
Did you think it would be for so long?
Not at all. We all thought one night, possibly two. Did you have enough food? I bought some food on the first day, but it wasn't very good by the third day. On my birthday, I had a packet of crisps and a 2-day-old sandwich for lunch.
Poor Mum.
What about the bathrooms at the airport? Were you able to have a shower? No. The water pipes froze, so after the first day, there wasn't any water. It wasn't nice.
That's disgusting. Oh.
Don't worry, I'm clean now. So, what did you do all day in the airport? I met some really nice people. We talked, read, played cards. When they found out it was my birthday, one of them gave me his last bar of chocolate. Oh, cute. It was a strange feeling having no internet connection, no phone line. It was horrible not being able to phone you two. We're all so used to being connected all the time. It was hard. I know you think I'm on holiday when I'm working, but it's not always easy, you know.
Happy birthday, Mum!
So, Carlos, can you explain me a little bit about this video, please?
Okay, teacher. I could watching the video about the missus had a problem when we got to airport. Uh, this moment was a really strange for her because it was a happy birthday of her, so he had to spend time in the airport with strange people. Whoever she met, she made some people, talk with them, read. One of them, how do you say felicitar? Congrats,
Yes, congrats.
congrats to her because in this time she's getting old. This is the birthday of her. So then she was speaking about with the guys in her house. With suddenly her husband, I think he was the husband of her, appeared with a cake to celebrate the birthday for her.
Okay, very good. So, Laura, can you explain a little bit more about this video, please?
Yes, in this video, the the woman have some problems in the airport with um and he have to stay in the airport that all day, and it's the day of his birthday, and he has to stay with some people, um, do different activities, but she want to uh, travel to home with her family and celebrate um, his her her birthday 50, and she is um, tell tell to his kids, and they they come, they buy an cake for his mother.
Yes. So, this is a little video about a simple past. So, you can see a lot of different words here that she expressed in past. For example, both, wasn't. We have here another example. Took, came. So you express a lot of different things in past. So remember, when we are talking about simple past, past simple, is expressions or activities that happened in the past and finish in the past. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, very good. And now I have some questions or exercise in simple past. So, Carlos, you can start with the first one.
Um, I didn't do my math homework yesterday.
Okay. The second one, Laura.
Susan, let's see. I oh, no sé.
To
When
replace with the verb in past. But this one is a question. Remember how do you make a question in the past?
sí.
Yes,
Did Susan
yes. And
went
what do you
went
say? When? Like this?
to England by plane?
Okay. The third one, Carlos,
They visited a farm 2 weeks ago.
like this.
Yes.
Okay. The next one, Laura.
Jenny and Peggy didn't help.
Like this one, yes.
No.
The next one, Carlos.
The children weren't at home last weekend.
The children were not at home last week.
Yes.
Okay. Laura.
When did you design
Okay. The next one, Carlos.
My mother didn't crash into the van.
Okay. The next one, Laura.
the boys um take off?
But it's in past.
Took
Like this.
mhm.
Okay. The next one, Carlos.
Did you phone your aunt last week?
Okay. The next one, Laura.
Um, he did not drunk.
Like this.
Mhm.
Girl. So Susan went. So when you use did, the verb has to be the same in present. So the correct
Mm.
is Susan go to England by plane. So always remember when you are using past, always the auxiliary in question is did and in negative also is did. Okay. So this one, not in- the same thing here. If we use indeed, always the verb has to be in present. but the rest, like you can see, is very good. So we have here another exercise to make with simple past. Which answers are correct? Which verb forms are in the simple past? So, Carlos, which one is which verb forms are in the simple past?
And teacher, I don't remember this exercise. I
Yes.
don't understand.
Okay, so you need
Which
to check out the answers about we are talking about simple
yeah.
past. For example, how do you use the verb with simple past? So you add ed at the end, the infinitive, yes? So you say this one.
Infinitive plus ad.
Exactly. And
Ed.
also you can say the second column of the table of the irregular verbs. Yes, is the second.
Ah,
You remember the table of these three uh, forms of the verbs. So the second one is in simple past. Okay. The next one, Laura, which verb forms are in the simple past of this one?
¿Tiene que ser solo una?
No, you can choose some of them.
Okay. Was, were,
This one, this one, which one? So remember, we say infinitive plus
play,
this one.
yes. Hat,
Okay, okay. The next one, Carlos.
okay. The first, second, and
This one,
fourth.
this one
First,
too.
first, alt. First, second, and
Okay.
fourth. Yes, it's okay.
So let's check it out this one because I don't want to make like we saw second column of the table of the irregular verb. Remember, we have this table with the verbs, and the second one is in simple past. Regular, irregular verbs, but also irregular verbs because, of course, the regular verbs are the same. So we add just ed. Okay. We have here the correct one, and this one also is correct. Okay. So remember, for the simple past, always we use the auxiliary did for questions and for negative. When we use did, always the verb is in present, okay? Because we are using the auxiliary. And I hope that you can also study a little bit of these verbs, especially the irregular verbs, because we need to start to practice all these kind of verbs that are important when we are describing something in the past. Okay, so now I have here another topic. How can you increase your fluency? Carlos, explain a little bit about 5 steps to increase your fluency, for example.
Okay, for me, the most important reason is when somebody don't understand about a text, for example, we need to continue reading the text or speaking in English. And when we are talking about in the past simple, it's very important to learn about how we can to pronounce the different verbs when the verbs end with ed. For example, uh, visit, visited or visited. Yes. Another example is ah, I don't remember more.
Don't worry
Uh,
about that. So remember when we try to speak with someone, the important thing is try to express yourself with a lot of vocabulary and try to use a lot of different elements to express yourself and try to be fluent. Even if you are with another person that you don't know, you can try a lot of different things to express yourself. Okay, Laura, what about you? You can tell me how can you increase your fluency?
I think that increase the skill of listening and um, listen uh, audios and songs and different series and different types of um, listening to increase the words that we can understand where we are listening.
Yes, actually, like you mentioned, it's important to check all our skills in English for skills plus fluency, because of course, if you can be excellent reading something or writing something, but if you are not able to, not capable to speak with another person, even if you don't have fluency or if you have a lot of vocabulary, it's complicated and the other person is not going to understand what do you think. So, for this reason, I have here a video, a small video, about some strategies for our fluency and confidence to speak to another person. So check a little bit of this video.
If any of those sound like you, then today's lesson is 100% for you because you might be making some mistakes that make you feel that way. And the truth is, you can absolutely become fluent and confident in English. This is what I do every day. And I work with students who, like you, felt that it was impossible. They thought they were doing everything right and nothing was working for them. Now, before we get started with the first mistake you might be making, I want to tell you that today's lesson might include a little bit of tough love. When we talk about giving someone tough love in English, what we mean is that we might say or do something that seems strict or too strong. Maybe it's harsh. It's something you don't want to hear, but we say it because we want to help you. I'm going to say some things because I want to see you succeed. I don't want you to stay stuck. I don't want you to feel frustrated. I don't want you to give up on English. I want you to be successful. So I'm going to share a little bit of tough love with you, but I'm also going to help you find solutions so that you can stop making these mistakes and start making real progress. Mistake number one is doing the same old thing again and again in English. And when I say same old thing, what I mean is that you're doing the same things you did when you first started to learn English. You probably started with a grammar book in a classroom and you did grammar activities, you learned rules, and you memorized lists of words. All of those things are great as a beginner English learner. You have to create a foundation. Of course, you need to understand grammar rules and you need vocabulary to get started. But as you make progress, as you advance, you need to change how you learn and use English. If your goal is fluency and confidence, those don't come from a grammar book, and they don't come from memorizing lists of words. I get a lot of emails with questions like, Anne-Marie, do you have a grammar book to recommend to help me speak English better? Or, Anne-Marie, what vocabulary do I need to speak fluently? And the truth is, it's not grammar or vocabulary. It is speaking and practice that will help you become fluent and confident. So if you're waiting to buy the new best grammar book, or if you're wondering what vocabulary to learn so that you can communicate fluently, I want to tell you that the real answer is learning to use English. So let's try a new way to do that. The first thing I want you to do is put away your grammar book. Yes, grammar is important, but we're going to start looking at how grammar is used in real life. So what I would recommend is that you choose a blog that you're interested in reading in English, or listen to a podcast. If you need help, I have a great lesson on 11 fantastic podcasts to listen to in English. So the first step is choosing something to read or listen to in English, and that will help you see how we use grammar in real life. And then the next step, the more important step, is talk about it. You can talk about it with a friend or maybe someone that you work with. Or if you have no one to practice with, you can even practice by yourself. In fact, right now I have a free audio training that you can download where I share 3 strategies to develop the courage and confidence to say what you want in English. And in those strategies, I talk about things that you can do on your own to practice speaking. So you can use those to help you begin to use English in your real life. You're improving your listening, your reading, you're learning to understand how we use grammar and vocabulary in real life, and then you're immediately speaking. You're practicing it, you're using it, and that's how you begin to make progress on your fluency and confidence. Mistake number 2 is closely related. It's I'm doing everything, but nothing is working. So maybe you are already reading blogs in English and you're listening to podcasts, you watch movies and TV shows, you read newspapers, and yes, you still do grammar activities and vocabulary activities. You're doing everything, but nothing is working. I get so many emails and questions about this because it's really frustrating to spend a lot of time on English and then still feel nervous and shy or worried when you speak. When I get questions like this, I often say, you are doing everything, but are you speaking? One of the things I notice when I see lists of everything you're doing, there's one thing that's missing. It's speaking. I don't see anything like I'm speaking with my friends at work, or I practice speaking at lunch every day with my colleagues. And that is the key. All of those other things are fantastic, and they are absolutely essential to helping you improve your listening, your reading skills, growing your vocabulary, learning how native speakers communicate and different accents and pronunciation. But if you're not speaking, you can't grow your fluency and build your confidence. I want to use an example for you. Think about when you first learned to ride a bike. You probably didn't read a lot of books about riding a bike. You probably didn't learn all the rules of a bike or the mechanics of how a bike works. You didn't watch other people and then immediately get on a bike and ride it successfully. Instead, one day someone helped you get on a bike and you were probably super nervous. If you were like me, you were off balance and you immediately fell over. And maybe that fall was painful and you thought, why am I doing this? It's crazy. But you really wanted to learn to ride a bike. Someone was there to help you. They picked you up. They encouraged you, supported you. So you got on the bike again. You tried it. You did it. You moved your legs and you balanced on the bike. Maybe you fell again, and each time it was less painful, less difficult, and it was easier to keep going forward. That is exactly how fluency works, and that is what happens when you begin practicing speaking. It is hard at first, it's challenging, and you might make some mistakes, but it's important to keep going, and the key is that you're speaking. Now, if you are a really shy and nervous English speaker, this is the hardest part. The idea of making a mistake is terrifying. It's the one thing you don't want to do. So what I recommend is that you make sure you find someone, a friend, a colleague, a teacher that you are comfortable with, someone that makes you feel comfortable, that supports you and helps you go forward. That is who you want to practice speaking with. Now you might think, Anne-Marie, this all sounds great, but I have no one to practice with. No one near me speaks English. There are a couple of suggestions that I have for you. One, you could try to find a language partner online. It is a challenge to do that, but there are many websites. Or you could try something like meetup.com, which is a place where people who have similar interests get together, and maybe there is an English-speaking group near you. If you're not ready to practice speaking with someone, you can do some activities on your own that will help you make progress. Again, I have that free download that you can listen to and learn those strategies that you can work on by yourself and still make progress in your fluency and confidence.
So, this is a video about the strategies of our fluency and confidence. I know it's a little hard for us as a students to practice a little bit. Maybe we don't have people to practice with, but also we can, like she says in the video, we can start to practice by ourselves, checking some videos, uh, some movies, or some podcasts, and after we can record and we can start to practice our fluency. For us as a future teachers, or as teachers, it's important to try and practice a lot of our for skills, but also our fluency. It's really important. Okay, so I hope that you can start to practice by your own, or if you have someone to practice with, can be amazing, because our fluency and confidence is going to be up, and it's going to be important for us. Okay, so now I have the other topic for you, is the adverbs. So the adverbs, it's a word or phrase that modifies the meaning or the adjective verb expressing manner, place, time, or degree. So we can see here the adverbs of frequency. These adverbs of frequency tell us how often something takes place. So, for example, we use always, usually, normally, often, sometimes, rarely, never, seldom. So, and this explains to us how often something takes place. But here I have another example of adverbs. We have the adverbs of time. These adverbs answer the question when. It tells us when an action happened, besides how long or how often. Most important adverbs of time are on this list. So I want you to pay attention. Like we can see here, always some adverbs finish with ly. So I hope you can check this because this is important for us to express or modify a verb. So we have also the adverbs of time, like here, but also we have the adverbs of manner and the adverbs of place, when or where the, the action took place. And for example, we can say in the city, and away, here, there. The adverbs also of manner is how this action happened, or you can express something like little, much, slowly, sadly. So depends what do you want to express with this kind of adverbs. You can add it in the phrase, and the meaning of the phrase is going to be complete. So do you have any questions until now?
Teacher, I have a doubt about that. Um, when we have general expression, for example, always, never, normally, seldom, we need to pop them at the beginning of the sentence. Yes, and we have the specific time expressions, for example, once, twice, three times. They must have to be at the ending of the sentence. It's okay.
Yes, for example, depends what do you want to express. For example, if we are talking about, yeah, we have an example already. Already means that something that happened already and done. So, for example, you can say, I finished the exam already. So it's mean done. So this adverb, especially already, uh, is an emphasis. So it's in the end of the phrase. So you need to pay attention what do you want to express. But with this kind of adverbs, like already, you should emphasize and add it at the end of the phrase. Okay?
Mhm. Okay.
Like you mentioned before, you can say, for example, here we have some adverbs of frequency, and we normally use the subject plus the adverbs plus the main verb of the verb of the phrase, and after the rest of the phrase. So then what do you want to express? That always the grammar rule is like that. Subject plus adverb plus the main verb plus the rest of the verb. Okay? So it means what do you want to express, Carlos? It's okay? You understand?
Uh,
Um, the
when we are using the specific times, for example, I go to the gym twice a week. Twice is a specific adverb of time, but this adverb had a specific time. For example, twice and once. They must pour of the end of the sentence. A different is when we use the the adverb frequency. For example, this always, usually, normally, the grammar is different. Yes, we must put first the general expressions, always, usually, normally, beginning at beginning in the sentences, and when we are use the specific time, they must be at the end of the sentence.
Exactly, exactly. You got it.
Okay,
Yes, it's
thank
clear.
you, teacher.
Okay, don't worry. And also remember, this already, for example, is something that finished, and we always add it at the end. Already means that something is done. So, especially with this kind of adverbs, we need to add it at the end also. Okay. So here I have exercise for you. And remember, adverbs always with sometimes finish with al and y. Okay, so remember that because this is important. It's a grammar rule sometimes, and it's easy to understand. So we have here some exercise. So the following words end with li, and are they adjectives, adverbs, of both? Sorry. Click the correct check boxes. So the first one, suddenly, is an adjective or an adverb, Carlos?
I think it's an adverb.
Okay, the second one, Laura. Lovely.
Adjective.
The third one,
Adjective.
the next one, Laura.
Adverb.
Okay. The next one, Carlos.
Silly. Mm.
Silly.
Mm. And maybe adjective.
Okay, the next one, Laura.
Adverb.
Okay, the next one, Carlos.
Adverb.
Okay, the next one, Laura.
Adjective.
The next one, Carlos.
Adjective.
The next one, Laura.
Adjective.
So let's check it out. But so this one is both of them, yearly and monthly. So they are adjective and adverb. Okay. Okay. So uh, I hope that you can remember that adverb is a word that modifies the verb, the express of the phrase, and can be adverb of frequency, of manner, of time. Depends what do you want to express. You can add this kind of adverbs, and also like Carlos mentioned, can be in the beginning of the phrase or in the end of the phrase to emphasize something. Okay. So I hope you can practice a little bit of these adverbs and check a lot of different stuff there. Remember always some of them finish with ly, like we can check here, but you need to check it out which one is an adverb or for example in this case clearly is adjective and adverb. It's mean that serve for both cases. Okay. And, and we can check another topic for our exam tomorrow and the next session, sorry. And it's American and British culture, the difference. So, Carlos, you can explain to me a little bit about some difference between American and British people?
Okay. Um, I think the most important difference between American and British culture is when the people get to home, they they take off their shoes and left them before the door.
Yes.
This is one. Another difference is in the bathrooms. The people in the sink, the people had two keys for the hot water and cold water. And other different is when the people is parking their cars on the street, between the car and car, there is a small place. Yes, different in the United States. The streets are more wide, are more wider than in United Kingdom.
Okay, very good. What about you, Laura? Do you know some difference about both cultures?
Mm, um, em, no sé bien qué decir. Mm,
You don't know? Well, I can explain to you that the American people are more friendly than the British culture. For example, the people are more polite in the British culture. Also, they have a lot of different vocabulary to express different things than here in America we express with another vocabulary. Also, they have different accents. They have a special accent. It's like singing, uh, and they use words like lovely, um, honey, and stuff like that. Darling, that in America they usually don't, because we need to respect another person. And in the British culture, this is uh, usually frequently. Another difference can be maybe they eat a lot of different food. For example, in the American, they usually eat hot dogs, hamburgers, and mac and cheese, and stuff like that. This is fast food or junk food. But in the British culture, they don't like this kind of food. They prefer some different kind of food with gravy and stuff like that. And also the British dish is Indian. I think it's Indian, and they don't have actually too much food uh, from them. Always they try to add different kind of food uh, in his food. So those are the some difference with the American and British culture. I hope, Laura, you can check it out, different kind of videos about the American and British culture, because in the test we are going to talk about it. Okay, I
okay,
hope you can check maybe in internet today or tomorrow, and you can practice a little bit of this difference. Okay.
okay.
So the last topic used to. So we are going to be emphasized today in used to. So the topic is to talk about something that happened regularly in the past, but does not happen now. So it means can be a continuous action and change now. So we uh, use to plus the activity. For example, we used to go for sailing, but we don't have time for it now. I used to live in Berlin, or I moved here. This is positive question. Positive, but in questions and negative sentences, we use it in the form used to. Now we remove the did and we use the auxiliary did. Remember the did auxiliary is for things that happened in the past. So where did you use to live? I didn't use to smoke. Like you can see here, have the auxiliary did negative, but we remove the used to. So where did you use to live? I didn't use to smoke. So remember, um, this kind of topic is to talk about something that happened in the past, but now changed. Okay? So, for example, I used to drink coffee before, but now I don't. Okay? And here I have one exercise other. Here we have some exercise with used to. So complete the sentences with affirmative, negative, or interrogative form of used to and the words in the blanks. Use contractions where possible. So, do you have any questions until now?
Nothing, teacher.
Laura, do you have questions?
I don't understand very they
The topic?
use they used to.
So, this used to is to talk about something that happened in the past. Remember that. So, for example, I can say I used to live in Sogamoso. That is mean that I used to live in Sogamoso, but in this moment I don't live in Sogamoso. So this topic is to express something that happened in the past, but now that thing changed. So for express the grammar, we use the subject plus used to plus the verb in present form and the rest of the phrase. For example, we used to go for sailing, but we don't have time for it now. So it means that change. They don't used to go again for sailing. They cannot go for sailing anymore. Here I have another example. I used to live in Berlin before I moved here. It means that this person lived in Berlin before, but now this person doesn't live anymore there. So we use subject plus used to plus the verb in present plus the rest of the phrase. And also we use in questions and negative sentences, we use it in the form used to. So it's mean in questions and negative, we use the topic used to without the did. So always we use in negative and questions did. Where did you used to live? Like you can see here, we remove the did because we have the auxiliary. Where did you used to live? And in negative, I didn't use no. In negative, use didn't. Class used to, but without the did. So remember that. It's important. Positive, we use to plus the infinitive. And in questions and negative, we use did and didn't and the verb present. Okay? So Laura, do you understand a little bit of this topic today?
Yes.
Okay. So it's just question of practice because it uh, is to express something that happened, that action in the past, but now changed. Okay? And here I have some exercise for you that I want to use uh, in the blankets. So the first one, Carlos.
David Beckham used to play for Manchester United.
Okay, this one, yes.
Yes.
The second one, Laura.
Okay. We didn't used to have a computer, but we do now.
This one, yes.
Mhm.
Okay. The next one, Carlos. It's a question.
Did they used to work together?
This one, yes.
Yes.
Okay. This one, Laura.
Okay. Didn't well that restaurant didn't used to be a clothes shop.
This one, yes.
Yes.
The next one, Carlos.
Um, she didn't like him, but now they're married.
Which one? This one?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. Okay. The next one, Laura. It's a question.
Mm-hmm. Where did they used to?
But
Oh, en dado caso sería, where did you used to
okay.
go to a school? To school?
The next one, Carlos.
Um, there is used to be a police station here.
This one, yes.
Yes.
And the last one, Laura.
I didn't used to like vegetables, but I do now.
I didn't used to like vegetables, but I do now.
Mhm.
Okay. So we can see here we have, so check it out. And we didn't used to have a computer, but we do now. And the other was used to. The restaurant used to be a clothes shop. So it's just question of practice this topic used to. But remember, in positive we use used to. In negative we use didn't to without the being. Remember that this is important. And in questions we use did. Did they used to. Remember also remove the did. Okay? So
Okay.
do you have any questions? Laura, Carlos?
Tell me.
Will be tomorrow the test, really?
No, no, no. I think it's
Okay.
our next session is in May 2.
On Thursday.
Yes. So I want you to review just to remember a little bit of these grammar rules and stuff like that. But this test is going to be emphasized in the speaking skill. So I have some staff writing something. So my suggestion is to study a little bit of these topics, but I know you understand a little bit of this, so I don't think you have any problem with this. Um, for our test, so I am going to divide the session. Um, so we are, I think, five of us. So I will send the link, but this link is going to have a time. So in that time, you are going to enter to the session because it's going to be individual the test. So for example, at 9 a.m. I am going to send the link to Carlos. So you are going to start the test at 9. So after in 9:20, Laura is going to start. So Laura is going to enter at 9:20. Okay, you got it.
Not at all.
For example, I will send the link to all the students. So it's going to be the same link for all of you. But you are going to start the session at different time. This allowed me to be with one of you in that moment. For example, the first one can be Carlos at 9.
Mm.
The second one can be you at 9:20. So you are going to start or you are going to enter in the session at that time, for example. So
It's individual.
I will express to you in Spanish also in the link so you can understand, and also by WhatsApp also I will send a little bit of this message. But the idea is try to speak a lot and try to use different kind of vocabulary. Okay,
Okay.
Carlos, do you have any questions?
I don't have a teacher.
Okay. Anyway, I will send a WhatsApp a message with all the information and also the topics, and I will send also the link 1 hour before so you can check also in Spanish the instructions. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I hope you can study a little bit of these topics, and I hope you can also speak a lot because I will check the speaking skill also. So you need to speak a lot and try to be fluent and try to use a lot of vocabulary to express yourself. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. This is the session for today. I hope you like this session and see you in the next time with our evaluation time. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, teacher. Thank you. Take care, guys.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.